Never call him Pat.
Never call him Pat?
Never.
Oh, we're on the air. Hi, Steve Adubato here at the Tisch WNET studio. We have I can get this. I'm a broadcaster, you know that? Dynamic, charismatic, talented team. Patrick Wilson does not like to be called Pat. Patrick Wilson, actor, singer, and Dagmara Domińczyk, who is, you know this guy?
I do. I know him a little bit.
They're married, they're talented, they're connected to our friends at the Montclair Film Festival.
Yes.
I saw you recently, Dag, in, what did I say, in Succession.
Oh, yes, Succession.
You describe the character.
Oh, my character's name is Carolina, and she's
She's not
Czech.
Polish?
Probably.
Well, her last
Czech.
name is Novotny, which to me is Czech, not Polish.
Okay.
She's the head of their PR, Waystar Rico's PR.
And she has to handle very difficult situations.
A little bit here and there, hopefully more next season.
I love it, I love it.
It's a dream gig, and I love it.
Tell everyone where they can see that.
HBO.
I don't know, check it out. What are you doing these days? Doing a lot of great things.
Oh, boy. I just had Midway come out, and now I'm just chilling, being a dad.
You're doing a lot more than that, too. You're involved. Go back to this, because we were talking about Montclair. You may not realize this in the tri-state area, but the most talented, incredibly humble people come from Montclair. We're neighbors. No, in all seriousness, Montclair is a place where there's an awful lot of artists and journalists and folks who are involved in all kinds of things. But you got involved with a film festival in town with our friend Bob Feinberg, who's part of the team here at Public Television. How'd that all happen?
Probably Luke Parker Bowles, maybe, I believe, who was one of the original founders. And I think anything we can do to promote the arts, whether it's with dance, theater, acting, whatever we can do.
I think they just go through the Rolodex.
It was a natural fit.
Famous, semi-famous people living here. Oh.
Yeah.
But
it was a natural
fit. You jumped in.
Absolutely. So we try to be as active as we can, and we've done a bunch of benefits. And every year I sing for their for a benefit concert that we do in February. So and try to help out throughout the year.
And you grew up in?
Mostly in Florida. Dad was a TV anchor. Brother's a TV anchor.
Is that right?
Come from a long line of wearing those. Yeah, just keep it low, you know, because my dad now.
Is it not right to wear on a Saturday night when you go out to dinner?
It's perfect.
So you were around that all the time?
Constantly, yes.
Were you drawn to our business at all?
No, because I knew my brother wanted to do it. It was. I always joke, like, I look to the right or the left of the camera, and they look down the barrel, so. Acting jokes.
I got it.
Thank you.
The chemistry's amazing.
You'll be here all
Isn't it?
And you'll be here all week. So, Poland.
Yes. Poland.
Came here when?
1983, February 17th. My dad was one of the founders of Solidarity, which was a labor...
Lech Walesa?
Lech Walesa, they kind of worked with each other. My dad was head of the Świętokrzyskie, the Holy Cross region, so he had about 600,000 workers under his kind of leadership, and there was martial law implemented in 1981, and he got put in prison for about almost a year, and then we were basically deported, given a few days to find some place that would take us in. The government then was realizing all these workers were really stirring the pot, and they wanted to kind of get rid of them instead of keeping them in jail. And so a lot of people went willingly, and a lot of people didn't really want to go. But, you know, my dad had 2 young kids, and my mom implored him, and the AFL-CIO sponsored us, and we ended up in New York City.
And
how about that?
And where did you guys meet?
Did that happen in Florida?
Not so much, really. Basically a middle, upper class upbringing, totally normal.
Yeah. So you
that's
guys
where we find the
We
balance.
went to Carnegie Mellon.
Oh, is that?
Yep.
Yes, we met in Carnegie Mellon.
Yep. And
Performed together?
No, he was a
Never.
senior and I was a wee little freshman.
Yes, and then we re-met at an alumni
10 years
event.
later,
10 years
we
later.
re-met.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Patrick said we talked, we had a conversation my freshman year that I totally don't remember.
Did you remember?
No, and I'm
Same
so
thing
glad
with my
that
wife.
I do.
It's terrible that she doesn't
I
remember.
don't.
And you
What?
remember?
Of course I do.
I was dating
Why
my
don't
high
they
school
remember?
boyfriend.
Is it
I don't
us?
know.
It's them.
Well, because literally everything else I forget, but I do remember very
No,
specifically
you
meeting
don't.
her.
You don't forget everything. No.
Oh, I love
He's
it.
really
I love
good
it.
at remembering.
But you have performed together.
Recently.
We just did.
Yeah, come on.
We just did. Yeah, at the
was-
24-hour plays. Yeah, we did the 24-hour plays, which was
is a fundraiser that they do here once a year. They pick like a renowned celebrity
playwrights.
actor, and they pick a charity. And so we honor, this year was Kathy Bates, and they get together a dozen actors, a handful of playwrights, directors. We meet in a room at Sunday at 11 p.m. at night. We bring a prop from our house. We talk a little about ourselves. The actors go home.
Yep.
The playwrights stay from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. writing 5 brand new plays.
And they perform in the next
And then we show up the next morning on Monday at 8 a.m.
rehearse all day, perform at night.
Yeah. So we did a play with David Harbour.
And our goal was just we stood up and said we've acted together in 2 films, but barely even shared a scene, and we would love to.
Because you're supposed to say, what have you never done on stage that you want to do?
So basically, we just ended up making out for.
Well, I said
Totally ad-libbed?
what?
No.
No, like
you wrote it and you did
No, the playwrights wrote
right.
it.
Yeah.
When we meet the playwrights, we go around in a circle, say, "Hi, I'm Dag, and something I've never done on stage is act with my husband, and here's a Rubik's cube I brought from my house."
And the writers sit back and they say, "Okay, you guys."
And then we go home, and we don't know in the morning.
They write. You come back.
We come back in the morning. We get the play. We were cast together.
Yep.
And I made a joke that we have 2 sons, and the younger one, I said, "What should Daddy and I do on stage? Like we've never acted together." And he was like, "Why don't you just make out?" So I said that as a joke. And the 13-year-old was like, "Why don't you not?"
13 and what?
10.
Okay.
And so I made a joke to the playwrights like, I'll make out with him, whatever. And then the play ended up being every
Just
2
us
minutes
making
we
out.
make out.
That's
on
the
stage.
greatest.
We had so much fun.
We did.
I loved it so much, and I want to do a play with you now.
Yes.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Do you shop
And I do
that? Okay.
Oh, cool. That
Clearly.
works out.
Do you wind up shopping that, meaning shopping the idea or hoping that something comes along?
We've never really done
Can you be
anything
assertive
with
as sorry for interrupting, but can you be assertive as performers, as actors who say, we want to do this, we have an idea, or do you say, let's wait for a project?
We could, but also the kids come into it.
Yeah.
You know, a play is a lot of commitment in the evening. So if we're both
Corey's
doing a
doing
play,
now,
you know, we don't have a nanny, we don't have,
What?
We don't have a nanny and stuff. So, our sons are older now, it's fine. But if we were to do a play together, then every night we're on stage and dinner and homework and we're not there. So we'd have to really, something
have to
amazing would
really
either have
carve
to
it
come
out.
along or we would have to go, you know
Probably have
what?
to figure it
Screw
out.
the kids, let's
Yeah.
do this.
I love it. I love it.
One day though, right?
One day.
I'm curious about this. The managing, not only the managing of your family life, but to what degree do your children, 10 and 13, right?
Yeah.
2 boys?
2 boys.
Do they know and or appreciate what you do?
Yes and yes.
Yeah, they've grown up around it. Our 10-year-old's actually on a TV show now. He's on Prodigal
It's a
Son.
new thing.
Which is a whole
We
new
directed the school plays,
thing to be in
so
the-
obviously they know that theater means a lot.
You direct the plays?
Yeah, we've done
Yeah.
it for like 4 years now
In
at
town?
the elementary
Yeah, yeah.
school, at the school that the little one. So this year will be our last year because our little guy is going to middle school next year.
Yeah.
But we've totally infused the arts,
Yeah.
I think as a kid, as a boy especially, it's so great to be well-rounded, and they have such a great example. Patrick's
Absolutely.
like a guy, and he watches sports and all this, and yet he sings show
That's what guys
tunes,
do.
and it's
We do that.
It's lovely
But
to have
just
that
only
outlet.
a few of us can do what you do.
No. So we've encouraged it. Like
Yeah.
if they want to pursue acting or theater, any art, a dance, I don't care. I feel like nowadays kids are so on their phones and such little human contact that the arts are the
not
last.
art.
Yeah.
It's the last
not art.
remaining way to connect with humans
Absolutely.
is through art. So
So
I want
encourage
nothing more than to encourage that.
Well, first of all, on behalf of all the folks in Montclair and the surrounding communities who appreciate Montclair Film, thank you for everything you're doing for the film festival. And also being people who really care about the arts and not just do it, but live it and promote it, particularly for younger people.
Yeah.
Well done. We thank you for joining us here on
Thank you.
One-on-One. I'm glad to make it one-on-two.
Did I
Stay
talk
right
too
there.
much? I feel like I talk too much.
No.
No. Are you going to break this down after? And no, you guys are
We're gonna
fine.
break
It
it
was
down now.
nice.
Keep going.
We'll be right back right after this. They'll work out their issues later.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Holy Name Medical Center, the Northward Center, United Airlines, New Jersey Sharing Network, the New Jersey Education Association, Rowan University, Investors Bank, and by Fedway Associates. Promotional support provided by AM 970 The Answer and by NJ.com. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.